Mira, huevón, durísimo, chamo. Ya vas a ver un incendio, pero una vaina... Oye, marico, algo está pasando. Verga, marico. Ignacio, mete otra vaina en el aeropuerto, papá.
¿Para qué hacemos? ¿Para qué hacemos?
Aquí, acá.
¿Que se queda allá?
Sí. Verga, marico.
Huevo, qué locura. Moscaí. Mira esa mierda, explotaron allá toda esa mierda porque tú no estás explotando.
Mierda, marico, se prendió el peo en esta mierda, ¿oyó?
Huevo.
Marico, llegamos a tiempo a la casa, ¿oyó?
Marico, mira esa mierda.
Shalom, call halal, YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, QADASH, that's giving all praise to the Most High. In the name of His only begotten Son, in the name of the Holy Spirit, double honors to our teachers, the elders, and apostles of Great Millstone, who taught us His truth and sincerity. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect scattered abroad. Shalom to 144,000. Real quick, I just woke up to this news about America. Well, I mean, I've been up for a few hours now, but just been collecting all these videos, all right, about how America has bombed Venezuela. Okay, America has bombed Venezuela. This says, view video from a vantage point over Caracas, Venezuela, shows explosions across the city skyline. All right, and like I said, I woke up seeing this, man. And, just go to show you that, this guy, Trump, is a hypocrite. He said no new wars, and he's starting new wars. Okay, and he's doing this so that he can get the oil. Okay, it's all about the oil reserves. And as you see where those bombs are hitting, the lights are going out, putting Venezuela in complete darkness. And then you got false news about people celebrating in the streets, and people are terrified. They ain't even going in the streets. They're in the house, hiding. Okay, but this is what America does, the big bully on the earth, the hammer of the whole earth. And it just happens to happen at, in the middle of the night, man. Okay, this is how these devils move, man. But as I was dreaming last night, I actually had a vision, okay? Before waking up to seeing this, I had a vision of basically America being attacked, man, okay? Of America being attacked and America being destroyed, all right? So what goes around comes back around. Let's grab that real quick. All right, it says, Galatians chapter 6, verse 7, it says, be not deceived, the Most High is not mocked, for whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. And all America sows is wickedness in the whole earth, okay? Verse 8, and he that soweth to his flesh shall of the flesh reap corruption, but he that soweth to the Spirit shall of the Spirit reap life everlasting. So Esau thinks that they're going to get away with all this, but ultimately it's going to bring for a bigger fireworks show that's going to hit America with thermonuclear missiles. In NLT, it says, don't be misled. You cannot mock the justice of the Most High. And this is what, what America and its propaganda is trying to mislead you to think that this is all, okay. All right. You will always harvest what you plant. So whatever you plant in the earth, you're going to harvest, man. If you planting, violence, evil, and wickedness into the earth, then you're going to harvest the same. What goes around comes back around. Those who live only to satisfy their own sinful nature will harvest decay and death from that sinful nature. And that's what America's about to harvest, decay and death from their sinful nature, because they said it was about the drugs, but really it's about the oil. They want the oil reserves. Remember, Trump was talking about a golden age. This is how he plans to get that golden age, by robbing other people, okay, robbing other countries, bombing other countries. And it was just said how, the president, Maduro, and his wife has been taken into custody. They pretty much kidnapped him. But those who live to please the Spirit will harvest everlasting life from the Spirit, right? And that's what we're doing, man. Okay, we're harvesting everlasting life while this place has been, you know, destroyed and on its way out. All right, so let's grab some more videos. It says President Trump confirmed the U.S. military carried out a large-scale strike in Venezuela early Saturday morning and took Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro and his wife into custody. This is what was going on over there. Fair use for the music, fair use for this footage. I'm not making any monetary gain off of this. Fair use, fair use. But you see how they coming, man, okay? Which shows you that America is, you know, the big bully of the earth, the hammer of the whole earth, okay? So I can grab that real quick. Yep. Let's go right here. It says, get right to the point. Jeremiah chapter 50 and verse 22, it says, a sound of battle is in the land and of great destruction. How is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? How is Babylon become a desolation among the nations? And this is how, and this is why. Okay, America's going to be broken down and become a desolation among the nations because of all the wickedness they have done. Okay, look at what happened with Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Look at what happened with Afghanistan, Iraq, you know, Libya. We can go on and on. Okay, we can go all day long. Okay, speaking about the war crimes America has done. So there's going to be a punishment for all this, man. Okay, I have set a snare. It's like I have laid a snare for thee, and thou art also taken, O Babylon, and thou wast not aware. You see, America's going around taking other people's presidents, but don't realize that they're about to be taken. It says, thou art found and also caught because thou hast striven against the Lord YAHAWASHI. And that's what America's doing. It says, the Lord YAHAWASHI hath opened his armory and hath brought forth the weapons of his indignation, which is what? Those thermonuclear missiles. For this is the work of the Lord YAHAWASHI, power, power of hosts, which means of armies, in the land of the Chaldeans. Okay, so America is the land of the Chaldeans. It says, come against her from the utmost border, open the storehouses, cast her up as heaps, and destroy her utterly. Let nothing be left up. So I can let nothing of her be left. And that's what's coming to America, man. Okay, let's read this in NLT. We in some very, very, very serious times, man. And as we're watching these things play out on the earth, we understand what this means. We understand what this is going to, you know, how this is going. We understand how this story is going to end because of what prophecy says in the scriptures. It says, verse 22, let the battle cry be heard in the land, a shout of great destruction. Babylon and the mightiest hammer. It's like a Babylon, the mightiest hammer in all the earth. And what happens when you're a hammer, everything looks like a nail. Okay, when you're a hammer, everything looks like a nail. And what does a hammer does? It smashes. And that's what America's been doing to all these other nations. It says, Babylon, the mightiest hammer in all the earth, lies broken and shattered. Babylon is desolate among the nations. Listen, Babylon, for I have set a trap for you. You are caught, for you have fought against the Lord. And I remember that video of the president Maduro of Venezuela. He was saying to his people, he said, don't worry about a thing. Because he see, these nations, they understand how America works. They understand what's going on. But they also can see and know, you know, how it's going to end for America. These nations are plotting against America, okay, to bring great death and destruction, as America has done. Is going to fall back upon America. Listen, Babylon, for I have set a trap for you. You are caught, for you have fought against the Lord. And that's what America's doing. He's fighting against YAHAWASHI. The Lord has opened his armory and brought out his weapons to vent his fury. The terror that falls upon the Babylonians will be the work of the sovereign Lord of heaven's armies. Yes, come against her from distant lands, break open her break open her granaries, Salakia, crush her walls, and houses into heaps of rubble. This is what's coming to America. Destroy her completely and leave nothing. So there's gonna be nothing left of America, man. Okay. Destroy even her young bulls. It will be terrible for them to slaughter them all, for Babylon's day of reckoning has come. Ooh. For Babylon, or America's day of reckoning has come, and America's day of reckoning is coming. For all of this evil, all of this wickedness, there's going to be punishments. There's going to be hell to pay. Listen to the people who have escaped from Babylon as they tell in Jerusalem how the Lord, our power, has taken vengeance against those who destroy his temple. Right. Okay, so we in a time where, America got hell to pay, bro, and they know it. Okay, it's inevitable. Let's go back. Let's see what else we got. It says, just then, Maduro and his wife has been indicted in the Southern District of New York. DOG Bondi says, and Trump is about to make an announcement at like 11 p.m. or 11 a.m. Salakia, 11 a.m. this morning. Speaking about this, it says, insane footage of American Apache helicopters raining down machine fire in northern Venezuela. This is a full-scale assault right now. Colombian President Gustavo Petro issues an urgent warning to the world, saying Venezuela is under active bombardment right now. Petro says Venezuela is being attacked with missiles in a full-scale attack. He is calling on the OAS and the United Nations to convene immediately. Ooh. You see, these nations are going to turn against America. Scripture says the beast shall hate the whore. Okay? These nations are going to turn against America, man. Lock you. Which that's music from Venezuela. I mean, it's like Vietnam. Okay, which fair use. I'm not making any monetary gain off of this. But, this resembles the Vietnam War. Okay.
Breaking news. America has just struck Venezuela. U.S. stealth bombers have reportedly struck Venezuela, and shocking reports now claim President Nicolas Maduro may have been targeted. If this is confirmed, war between the United States and Venezuela has officially begun. President Trump says the United States knocked out a major facility in Venezuela in what appears to be a reference to a strike on a drug trafficking site. It is the first known attack on land in Venezuela since the Trump administration began its campaign against the country. Trump said there was a major explosion in the dock area where they load the boats up with drugs. They load the boats up with drugs, so we hit all the boats, and now we hit the area. Breaking news. Which
all this is happening as America is about to go into another government shutdown on January 30th. Okay, another government shutdown. So make sure you're paying attention. Okay, let's see what it says.
Breaking news. China has surrounded Taiwan, and this time they are firing live weapons. China has launched large-scale military exercises around Taiwan. Warships are in the waters. Fighter jets are in the air. And Chinese forces are practicing a full blockade around the island. This is not just simple training. China is also firing rockets and live-fire weapons into the waters near Taiwan as part of the drills, simulating real strikes and testing how fast they can attack if needed. Beijing says this is a warning against Taiwan independence and a message to the United States and other countries supporting Taiwan. Taiwan is now on high alert. Their military is tracking Chinese ships and jets and preparing in case anything crosses the line or comes too close. Countries like Japan and the United States are watching closely, saying China is raising the risk of conflict in the region and could destabilize the entire Asia-Pacific if this continues. This also impacts air routes and shipping lanes, increasing tension for everyone around the region.
Yeah, we got war all over the place, man. Okay. U.S. Special Forces Delta Force have just landed in Caracas, Venezuela. We got war all over the place.
So what is the deep state?
All right, so there you go. War all over the place, man. Call the Lord YAHAWASHI. Shot. We almost out of here, bro.
Breaking just now.
It won't be much longer
just
now.
Maduro, the president says, has been captured. Nicolas Maduro, president of Venezuela, has been captured, says President Trump. There will be a news conference at Mar-a-Lago on this at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Let me read you the full statement from the president. Quote, the United States of America has successfully carried out a large-scale strike against Venezuela and its leader, President Nicolas Maduro, who has been, along with his wife, captured and flown out of the country. This operation was done in conjunction with the U.S. law enforcement. Details to follow. There will be a news conference today at 11 a.m.
Basically, they kidnapped another president, okay? They kidnapped another president. Now, imagine if this was done in America. Imagine if they did this to, they kidnapped the president of America, Trump, you know? It will be, justified to come down with the hammer. So guess what? Now the Lord is, getting ready to bring all these things that America's been doing upon America. Alleged Venezuelan air defense unit still burns after U.S. airstrikes hit the air base. Okay. It says Donald Trump on his Truth Social. It says the United States of America has successfully carried out a large-scale strike against Venezuela and its leader, President Nicolas Maduro, who has been along with his wife, captured and flown out of the country. This operation was done in conjunction with the U.S. law enforcement. Details to follow. There will be a news conference today at 11 a.m. at Mar-a-Lago. Thank you for your attention in this matter, President Donald Trump. And this guy ain't even in the White House. He down here in Florida. All right. It was a video going around of basically, a AI generated video showing, Venezuela blown up, buildings destroyed, and then there was audio behind it of people screaming or cheering and saying freedom or whatever, which is fake. That was fake news, but it says right here, RT exclusive Murad, I'm not gonna try to say his last name, greeted by an empty Caracas. It's 8:30 in the morning. Usually the streets are packed. Let's play this.
By the United. This is the avenue of Francesca de Miranda, just off of the Liberator Avenue. One of, a few of the main streets here in Caracas. It's empty. It's 8 o'clock in the morning, 8:30. Usually these streets are packed with traffic, with people.
You know what's wicked, bro? Like I said, I was in that video of Maduro singing with his people, and people was, cheering. They was happy. They was glad, they was happy, with their president. But now America's trying to push this propaganda and false news, saying that the people are happy that Maduro got arrested and captured and whatnot, which is false. And that's like saying somebody's happy that they're getting robbed. All right, they're happy that they're getting robbed. No, that's foolish, man. They understand what this means. This is why Maduro was training his own citizens to use missile or air defense weapons, man. Okay. But they came in the middle of the night. People was probably asleep, still, enjoying the so-called New Year, and shows you this man is a devil. And that's how he gonna move on us in the middle of the night when you least expect it. When you caught off guard, 2 o'clock in the morning, he gonna kick in your door.
Here, in fact, even the cook at our hotel refused to come to work for breakfast because, like many Venezuelans, she prefers to wait out this uncertainty 6 hours after the strike by the United States, to wait out this uncertainty at home rather than risk going outside and who knows what.
People terrorizing people, man. Okay. It says, God bless our troops. And the troops of America are just nothing but bullies, okay? You're not bringing freedom to America. You're taking freedom from other countries, all right? So let's go back. Let's see what else we got. This is it.
Criminal agresión militar. Buenos días, pueblo heroico.
It says breaking Venezuela's defense minister is alive and has released a video message calling for an anti-imperialist and liberation war against the American empire. Ooh. Looks like new wars are back on the menu, boys. Largest oil reserves in the world, Venezuela. Largest oil producer in Africa, Nigeria. On the largest undeveloped rare earth mineral deposits outside China, Greenland. And these are conflicts that America has had in the past month with these people. So it says, so the peace president got United States to start a war, right? After he said no new wars, okay? Venezuela got a new president. Breaking Delcy, I don't know how true this is, but Delcy Rodriguez becomes Venezuela's first female president following terror attack on Caracas. And this is what America wants, okay? They want to put their puppets, okay? The first female leader. The scripture says that a woman's not supposed to usurp authority over men or be in any positions of power. But they want to put a female in power, okay? They want to put a female in position. This is all America's doing, man. Okay? I don't know how real this is. It's more than likely not. But for edification's sake, I will take that picture. All right. Breaking news. It took 10 days to capture Manuel Noriega in Panama. It took Donald Trump 1 hour to get Nicolas Maduro, new record. Wow. So maybe this image is, real. Not exactly sure. All right, but we see what's going on, man. It's clear as day. It's clear as day, man. All right, so that's just an update real quick in the morning. Early morning update concerning what's going on with Venezuela and what's happening around the world. All right, showing you that we almost out of here. Let me grab this article real quick before I forget. Let's see. This is what we were just seeing. It says Venezuela live. President Maduro and his wife are captured as U.S. airstrikes hit the capital. Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro and his wife have been captured and flown out of the country. Donald Trump has said the dictator's whereabouts remain unknown. And in an address, the country's Vice President Delcy Rodriguez demanded a immediate proof of life. This morning, the U.S. carried out airstrikes on the capital, Caracas, with loud explosions heard throughout the city at around 2 a.m. local time. So at 2 a.m. in the morning, they start striking. In a post on Truth Social, Trump said he had ordered the U.S. to conduct a successful large-scale strike on Venezuela. The United States and America has successfully carried out a large-scale strike against Venezuela and its leader, President Nicolas Maduro, who has been, along with his wife, captured and flown out of the country. He said his kidnapping. This operation was done in conjunction with the U.S. law enforcement. What does U.S. law enforcement got to do in another country? Wickedness. Trump said that more details will be released in a press conference at Mar-a-Lago later in the morning. So 11 a.m. they plan on making this statement. And we'll see what he has to say, okay, for this madness. Let's see what this is. U.S. Marines have arrived in Venezuela's screen as Trump's troops storm Caracas, tanks roll.
In the early hours of Saturday morning, Venezuela's capital was rocked by explosions. And now U.S. officials are confirming a major escalation. According to CBS News, U.S. President Donald Trump ordered strikes on sites inside Venezuela, including military facilities, as Washington sharply intensified its campaign against the government of President Nicolás Maduro. Sources tell CBS News the Trump administration is aware of reports of explosions and aircraft over Caracas. But as of now, there has been no official public comment from the White House. On the ground, the situation appears chaotic. Eyewitness videos and journalist reports describe missile-like strikes, low-flying aircraft, and power outages across parts of the capital. Colombia's president, Gustavo Petro, issued an urgent warning to the world. He said, "Right now they are bombing Caracas. They are bombing with missiles. The OAS and the UN must meet immediately." The U.S. military has acknowledged reports of explosions in Caracas, but a Pentagon spokesperson refused to confirm or deny any American involvement, according to the New York Times. Witnesses reported activity at least 6 sites, including areas near Fort Tuna Army Base, La Carota Air Base, the 23 de Enero neighborhood, and in the vicinity of Miraflores Palace, the presidential residence. Venezuelan Defense Minister Diosdado Cabello's home at Fort Tuna Base was reportedly hit by shelling. Meanwhile, unverified footage circulating online shows Venezuelan forces detaining residents near the presidential palace as armored vehicles and tanks reportedly move toward the seat of power. In other videos, still unconfirmed, locals are heard screaming, "The Marines! The Marines have arrived!" Additional footage claims to show American forces storming Venezuelan ports and what appears to be U.S. Air Force strikes on Venezuelan army bases.
I believe that a few minutes before 2 a.m., at least in the part of Caracas where I live, which is downtown Caracas, the electricity went down.
Yeah, so you get the picture, man. All right. World reacts to U.S. strikes on Venezuela. Following the reactions to Saturday's U.S. strikes on Venezuela, this morning the United States committed the act of armed aggression against Venezuela. This is deeply concerning and condemnable, Russia Foreign Ministry said. The pretext used to justify such actions. And another thing I was going to say is America's not going to the Congress about any. The president's not going to the Congress about any of this. He's just doing what he want to do. That sounds like a dictator. It says the pretext used to justify such actions are unfounded, ideological, and animosity has prevailed over business pragmatism, and the willingness to build relationships based on trust and predictability. In the current situation, it is important, first and foremost, to prevent further escalation and to focus on finding a way out of this situation through dialogue. And America don't deal with dialogue. They want to deal with missiles. Latin America must remain a zone of peace as it declared itself to be in 2014. And Venezuela must be guaranteed the right to determine its own destiny without any destructive, let alone military interference from outside. We support the statement by the Venezuelan authorities and the leader of the Latin American country calling for an immediate meeting of the UN Security Council, Iran's supreme leader, such and such, right? What matters is that when a person realizes the enemy is arrogantly trying to impose something on the country, on the officials, on the government, and on the nation, one must stand firmly against the enemy and bare one's chest in resistance. We will not yield to the enemy, relying on Almighty God, trusting in God, and with confidence in the support of the people, God willing, and by divine grace, we will bring the enemy to its knees. These nations are all speaking against America, talking about bringing America to its knees. I like this. It says Spanish Foreign Ministry. Spain calls for de-escalation and moderation and for action to always be taken in accordance with international law and the principles of the UN Charter. In this regard, Spain is willing to offer its good offices and to achieve a peaceful and negotiable solution to the current crisis. Trinidad and Tobago Prime Minister. So all these nations are responding. This is what the world is thinking concerning what America just did, right? Earlier this morning, Saturday 3rd, I believe this is from the Trinidad and Tobago Prime Minister. Earlier this morning, Saturday 3rd, January 2026, the U.S. president commenced military operations within the territory of Venezuela. Trinidad and Tobago is not a participant in any of these ongoing military operations. Trinidad and Tobago continues to maintain peaceful relations with the people of Venezuela. So it says Rodriguez. So all the nations are saying that they're not with this. Okay, they're speaking against this. This is the prominent MP from Germany's conservative Christian Democratic Union. With President Trump, the U.S. are abandoning the rules-based order that has shaped us since 1945. The coup in Venezuela marks a return to the old U.S. doctrine from before 1940, a mindset of thinking in terms of spheres of influence where the law of force rules, not international law. Ooh, you see what I told you? The hammer of the whole earth is broken down and cut asunder. America has believed in the law of force. They think the law of force rules, not international law. Trump is destroying what was left of any trust in the U.S. Ooh, you hear this? These nations are speaking against America. They're speaking against America. I'm glad I found this, man. It says Trump is destroying what was left of any trust in the U.S. Italian opposition party leader and former prime minister, such and such, whatever. This is of Italy, I assume. It says the American aggression against Venezuela has no legal basis, right? So the whole world is looking at this as criminal behavior. So what is the whole world going to do? They're going to turn against America. Let's grab that real quick. Let me come back. I'm done with that. Let's go right here. I'm going to come back to that. It says Revelation chapter 17 and verse, let's get right to the point. Verse 15, and he saith unto me, the waters which thou sawest, where the whore sitteth, are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore. These nations are going to hate America. America's the whore. And shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh, and burn her with fire, thermonuclear fire. For the Most High hath put in their hearts to fulfill his will, and to agree, and give their kingdom unto the beast, until the words of the Most High shall be fulfilled. So, right, America is now coming to the point where the world is turning against America. And the woman which thou sawest in that great city, which reigneth over the kings of the earth. So coming back over here, it says America's aggression against Venezuela has no legal basis. We are facing a blatant violation of international law, right? Which certifies the dominance of the strongest and best equipped militarily, right? It's like which certifies the dominance of the strongest and best equipped military, which America is best equipped militarily, but these nations are going to band together against America. I hope that the entire international community will make its voice heard, and that everyone will understand that if rules only apply to enemies and not to friends, no one can feel safe anymore, nor can the illiberal nature of a government's rule justify an attack on a sovereign state? This is Indonesia. Indonesia is monitoring developments in Venezuela to ensure the safety of its citizens, which, you know, whatever. Indonesia also calls on all relevant parties to prioritize peaceful resolutions through de-escalation and dialogue while prioritizing the protection of civilians. Indonesia emphasizes the importance of respecting international law and the principles of the U.S. Charter. So, yeah, America is violating international law, and all these nations are speaking about it. This is from Belgium. Belgium's Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Affairs Minister. It says, the safety of our citizens is a top priority. Our embassy in Bogota, I can't even pronounce that, but it says, which is responsible for Venezuela, and our services in Brussels are fully mobilized. The situation is being closely monitored in cooperation with our European partners. Okay, so you heard all these different nations speaking about how they feel about this, which shows you that this is going to lead to war, man. Okay, America is going to be it's going to have to pay for this, and this is why this guy Trump, you know, he's in that seat to bring forth this war. Okay, let's go to Habakkuk chapter 2. In verse 3, it says, for the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry. And the vision about the destruction of America, okay, about how America is about to be, these nations are going to turn against America. You know, at first it was kind of hard to see because America has so many allies, but now we're starting to see it. It's starting to get clearer and clearer. That vision is getting clearer and clearer why these nations are going to turn against America. If you're, you know, not obeying international law, that's putting these other nations in a place where they can't trust you. And that means that if they can't trust you, they're going to be seeking to destroy you. It says, behold, his soul, which is lifted up, is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith. It says, yeah, also because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home. If you protecting America, why are you going all the way across the ocean to these other, you know, across the seas to these other nations, man, to bring hell? Neither keepeth at home, who enlarges his desire as hell and is as death. This is what this spirit of Esau, okay, in America, which America is the chief city of Basra, okay, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations and heapeth unto him all people. And it's spiritual, because I just had a dream, you know, a few hours ago. Why? More than likely, why this is going on, I was dreaming about America being destroyed. So the Lord is showing us what's coming, man. This is the time is short, okay? It won't be much longer. In that dream I had, I was like in an apartment building with, like, you know, family and whatnot, and you know, some of the Akim, and basically, you know, it was like this building just like got beamed or blown up right in front of this apartment building that we was in. And it got blown up, and I kind of backed up and was like, oh shit. And then immediately, you know, water started coming in and all type of, it was just so much chaos going on, bro. It was, you know, we had to escape the building and stuff. We ended up on this like bus, and the water was coming. It was water coming up onto the bus, you know. It's like a tsunami or something, like a bomb had hit the water or something. The water was coming up into the mainland and it was like pretty much at our knees. You know, and it's just, you know, bombs going off and explosions in the background. It was terrifying. I'm not gonna lie, it was terrifying, man. All right, so that's what's coming to America, and there's no coincidence I had that dream, as this was all taking place, man. All right, but that's the point. I don't want to make this too long. I already went long enough. We're praying to edifying to the full. Just a quick update in the spirit. As we see these things, we report upon these things, man, upon our watchtower, and praying that the Lord have mercy upon us and deliver us in these trying times, because this is about to get very ugly for America. And like I said, they're saying on January 30th, there's going to be another government shutdown. And that might be the final government shutdown, man. All right, so expect complete chaos, turmoil, all hell breaking loose very soon. Shalom, Kwame Sharala, Baba Ball.